Well, Governor Maura Healey just outlined some new moves to improve safety after the fire that killed 10 people in an assisted living facility. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Brianna Pitts. The governor is making money available to help communities hire more emergency workers. WBZ's Louisa Moller is live in Fall River with what the governor just laid out, Louisa.
Brianna, well, the governor started her visit here with a closed-door meeting with a whole bunch of stakeholders. We're talking about the fire chief, the police chief, some state secretaries, even some representatives from our congressional delegates. And then she came out and told us about some of these recommendations that have really been part of an ongoing conversation ever since this tragedy happened. So let's start right off the top. Healey announced an additional $1.2 million in state funds for the Fall River Fire Department to hire more firefighters. You may recall last week the fire union complained that Fall River was understaffed. On Friday, Governor Healey announced the state is launching a statewide fire safety initiative for assisted living residences, including posting evacuation instructions in each resident's room. Today, she reiterated these changes with, she said, room for even more changes to come. Now, this story has so many moving parts, and we've been covering it for days. And yesterday, more than a week after the tragedy, the owner of Gabriel House weighed in for the first time through a spokesman in a statement, thanking first responders, offering his condolences to the victims, and saying the sprinkler systems were inspected as recently as 5 days before the fire and found to be in working order. Sources told our team that investigators were looking into the possibility that the sprinkler system was clogged and the fire was caused by smoking near an oxygen tank. We also learned there are currently 10 dead from this awful fire. The Bristol County District Attorney released the name of a 10th decedent from the fire, 66-year-old Brenda Cropper, and last night identified another victim whose name was previously withheld as 70-year-old Helena Lawler. Now, today, I asked a question of the Secretary of Elder Affairs. I said, is there any review of how the state last inspected Gabriel House in 2023? Here's what she said.
At a minimum, our team that certifies these residences do a visit, a very in-depth visit with a full day or two of preparation before an actual site visit. They do that at least every 2 years, but we have the authority to go out unannounced and more frequently than that, and we do. So just know that that's baseline. And then we asked each of the 273 buildings to complete a survey for us and to submit that within the next few weeks to affirm and confirm that they have all the proper fire safety mechanisms in place.
Now, we expect to get even more new information today. There is a 2 p.m. news conference held by the Bristol County District Attorney, and will reportedly release the preliminary investigative findings of how this fire happened. There's sure to be a lot of people paying attention to that information, and we'll bring it to you on WBZ. Live in Fall River, Louisa Moller, WBZ News.
All right, Louisa, thank you. We will bring that to you streaming here. In the meantime, we've learned that one of the survivors of that fire has filed a lawsuit against Gabriel House. In that lawsuit, Stephen Oldred claims that the facility was, quote, not properly managed, staffed, maintained, or supervised, and that emergency response procedures were not in place. Oldred says he was trapped in his room during the fire and suffered smoke inhalation, respiratory distress, and loss of consciousness.